Howdy people, back in the garage again. It's another day. It's really cold actually. Well, it's not too bad actually, but I'm feeling it today. So I've got the old hat on, try and keep the brain cell warm, so to speak. I've decided to look at the ignition, or where it's going to go. Basically, the front forks are off the bike at the minute, so I'm a little bit stuck, so I can't move the bike at all. So I thought I'd have a look at these little bits that I'm putting off because they involve wires. I don't like wires. But yeah, so I thought I'd just have a little look at what I'm going to do with the ignition. So yes, I can go and buy just a simple switch for the ignition, or a button, or anything really simple. I can do that, or, which is kind of what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to move the ignition, so I'm going to keep the original ignition if I can, purely because I don't like cutting wires up. I feel that the original factory ignition is probably always going to be better than a aftermarket one. Who knows? And also I can keep the same key, because I'm going to put the fuel filler cap out of the Hornet tank is going into the into this tank. So it'd be nicer just to have one key to do them both, really. So my thinking is, if I can, I'm going to move the ignition, and I've found a place which is possibly going to be quite controversial, and maybe some do's and don'ts, but we'll have a look. So I think I'm going to stick it there. So under the carbs, there's actually an engine. I think it was possibly a mounting point, maybe, for when, because they use these engines, I'm pretty sure, in the CBR 600. These are just slightly detuned. I think there's a different cam, and maybe the carbs are slightly different. But that may well be the mounting point. I don't know. There's one on the other side, so I'm just assuming. But yeah, so I kind of thought, do you know what? The ignition could go in there. I've made a tiny little spacer in there because there's some ribbon on the back of this mount at an angle. So my very poor lathe skills and whatnot I've managed to knock up a little spacer. Yeah, so once the airbox is kind of in, I mean, it's just lodged there loosely at the minute. It's not in exactly the right place, but it's good enough to see sort of around here. But once the airbox is in, that kind of disguises that quite a lot. And actually, what I was going to do, what I wanted to do, was make some sort of just flat cover coming off of this mount, and just make some sort of cover, because you could see the starter motor in there, and it's just not very nice. I know, I know we can't hide everything, but it's yeah, I just thought if I can make a cover here, when you look into the engine, it'll just disguise that starter motor a little bit. Obviously with everything, I'll refreshing it. New bolts everywhere, and the same with the engine. The engine will all be refreshed and new bolts and whatnot. But yeah, that's kind of what I had in mind to make just a cover. So then I thought, oh, hang on, if I'm going to have a cover there, maybe I could mount the ignition. So I've got the old CAD going again, and this is the first little sort of knock-up piece. But so if we kind of stick that, something like that. But yeah, so that's kind of what I was thinking. Something like that. So as when you look sort of through the bike, it shouldn't look too bad. So I'm going to cut another one of these up, maybe change it slightly, maybe round that top edge, and see how we go. But I think that's possibly what I'm going to do. Right, there we go. I've just done another one. Just use that one for the kind of base. And I'll cut this one out and we'll try again. But that's the beauty of a card, you see. Doesn't matter if you mess it up. It's pretty easy to work with. It's cheap, readily available. Cut it up, do it wrong, mess it up, throw it away, do it again. Okay, so this is the second attempt, which is slightly better, I feel. So we are going to be somewhere like that. And I think what I'm going to do is just add a little piece in there. So a little bit more out of there. Slightly different angle. Right, yeah, we're getting somewhere now, so I'll just cut that back. Just nip them off. That's better. There we go, look. Something like that. So we're kind of following the line of the cylinder head, kind of like that, and then we're somewhere near the sort of airbox lines, sort of there and down there. We're never going to get it perfect because they're all slightly different, but I think that'll do, something like that. Okay, so we've gone from this onto this, and I've already started to drill the holes, and yet again forgot to press play. So I'm just going to put this on time lapse, and we're just going to cut this out, just normal stuff. Right, there we go, look. We've got our elephant with no trunk. Yeah, that's okay. It's not 1,000,000% perfect, but once it's coloured, that'll be fine. We'll obviously change this out for probably a domed Allen bolt or something. But yeah, that's okay. So the next thing is to do the usual and just put a slight return curve around that top edge and side, and then we'll make, let's have a look, I've lost it, yeah, and we'll make this piece look, so that'll then go on there like so, kind of like that. Okay, so I'm just going to scribe around the edge again. I think I'm going to do it all actually, because yeah, it does want just a slight bit of shape all the way around it, just to make it not quite so square and boxy. So yeah, I'll just run around the edge. I mean, this is just kind of a bit of guesstimating as well, to be fair. But like I say, I just do what I can with you know, with what we've got. So we'll just go around there. I mean, it will change the shape slightly. It probably won't be quite as precise, maybe, but it'll be fine. Be all right. Handmade, isn't it? There we go. Well, yeah, it's definitely handmade. Okay, look, so we've got our elephant, or is it a pig? Maybe it's a pig. So we've got our piggy, and we've just got a slight little return on it, look. Again, it's not perfect. It's got sort of marks and jars in it and this and that, but high build, that I'd finish that, no problem. Again, this will, actually I might, I'm probably going to end up covering this in carbon actually. So actually that would be perfectly alright, because by the time we've got the carbon on it, blah blah blah, it'd be fine. Anyway, right. So now we want to do this piece, this sort of edging on it. So I'm going to guesstimate and just sort of start it off in the vise, just to get this little curve at the start. So we just whack it in. God, I've still got this pre-Christmas snotfest going on, which is not great, but it is what it is, eh? That's not too bad. Do you know what? We'll just put the very first bit in. And then put that in there and give it a little. That's it. There you go, that'll do. Oh dear, there you go. Can you see that? Anyway, you get the idea. I'm basically going to just bend that all around there, and then again just put a slight little return on it, so that we can then weld them together. We'll have a nice return over there. Okay, so I've bent this round, look. And what I've done is I've left it slightly big. See that gap all the way around it? Hopefully, when I bend this return over, then hopefully that will somewhere, fingers crossed, meet that one. You'll see what I mean. So I'll just return that over next, and then we're nearly done. There you go. Somehow I've made a piggy. Oh dear. I thought it looked like like an elephant to start with, but it looks like a pig. Maybe that's what we should call the bike, the pig. But look, so we've done that. Excuse me. It's not perfect. There's some, see there? We've got a bit of a gap. Oh, bloody hell. The light. No. Well, trust me, there you go. There's a bit of a gap there. Not worried about that. Not worried about any of this really, because what I'll do is I'll blob it with weld on the inside. I'll fill it with weld, and then I'll just sand that back, and we'll get a nice nice radius on that. But yeah, overall pretty happy. Let's fire it on and see how it looks. Just that little bit of sorry, I'm trying to concentrate again and talk. Maybe I should just go to silent videos and just put it on time lapse and whatnot. Maybe that would be better. Yeah, it's just another bit to the bike, isn't it? That maybe if Honda had have done it, that's possibly how it would have looked. That's somewhere near. I'm gonna make another bracket somewhere, somehow, on the on this other mounting point of the ignition. Again, not that it's going to go anywhere. It's very solid, but I'll probably try and do something with that. Right. Well, there we go. That's that. Obviously, we're going to change that bolt, for an Allen bolt, and then we'll lodge this back in. Again, this is only just placed in, so it's not in its perfect final resting place. It's just guesstimating. Oh yeah, that's spot on. That's spot on, that is. Yeah, let's have a look. Well, there we go, look. There we go, look. Sorry, this is as pretty much as far back as I can get. I'm now sitting under the bench again, but yeah, I quite like that. And it really disguises it all. It disguises the starter motor a fair bit, because actually when you was looking right in there to start with, all you could see was the starter motor. Now we've got this in the way. That's hidden that really well, and you can't really see the ignition switch behind there. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's not 1,000,000%. It needs to go up a little bit actually, but I've cracked it too much. It's not 1,000,000%, but no one's gonna take any notice of that. So yeah, let's have a look. Yeah, I think once that's it'll either be black or carbon. But once that's done, I think that'll look all, excuse me, I think that'll look all right. Yeah, that's done. And look, we've got the other side. This side was a pain in the arse, to be honest, because I forgot about all the filler, radiator filler cap. So, and this side's slightly different. So I had to. I thought it would look nicer with a little bit of shape going around the filler cap, rather than it being flat. So we've got a bit of shape going in there, and a little bit of shape there. Look, where this hose is gonna. Where that hose is going to come out. So we've got that little bit of shape there. Obviously this surrounding bit needs trimming to make it nice, but yeah, that was a bugger, that was. But I'm glad I've done it like that. So the radiator cowl is nearly done. I've just got to weld that in, and then that's another piece done. Right, there we go then. That's another little piece done. Yeah, take it to work, weld it up. I reckon that'll do. Yeah, pleased with that. Yeah, pleased with that. And then, yeah, we'll fire some paint on it and hopefully it'll look alright. Hopefully it'll kind of blend in with the engine and whatnot quite well. So, yeah, mega that. Yeah, really pleased. So that's that bit done. Actually, I've got a little bit of a welding session to spit all these bits together. So once I've done that, that is then ticked off the list. And then I could start bodyworking them all and bodyworking, and then they're ready to mould or to either skin over with carbon or whatever. But yeah. Anyway, I think that's going to be it for this one, because I was going to try and do a quick one, but I think I've got to probably edit about an hour to try and get it down to about 15 minutes. So wish me luck on that one. That'll be me for the rest of the evening. So but anyway, thanks for joining us again. Not the most interesting bit, but again, it's a little bit of fabrication, and that's kind of what it's all about, really. You know, fabbing bits up and you know, seeing what we can do with what we've got again. But yeah, so thanks for joining us, and yeah, we'll see you next time.